Cornbread joining us in the studio. We got to come up with some theme music for Cornbread. So our boss, they said we decide Boss Bread. Is that what we're calling her now? So, by the way,
Cornbread's fine.
Cornbread's fine, but I guess a fish. We'll figure that out next week. We've got other fish to fry right now.
Other names to figure out.
Yeah.
Man, we're talking all kinds of things food.
So we've gone from short rib to.
So they're trying. Well, what you're trying to do is we're trying to decide. You apparently feel that I have to have a food.
Well,
nickname
everybody
for
else, every other character on the morning crew has a character. I mean, I get that Hamilton is Hammy, but that's a given right there. And then you got Cornbread, Courtney Cornbread. You got Biscuit, of course.
Yeah.
Porterhouse, and then you got Matt.
I say we could go with beans and cornbread.
Beans and cornbread? Beans, cornbread, and porterhouse. That would be a heck of a combination. And ham.
Yeah, but I don't really think about. So, I don't know about. What about? Like if we're gonna talk Porterhouse.
How about just soup bean? We'll just call you soup bean.
Soup bean?
Yeah,
just
soup
one bean.
Just one bean.
Just one bean. One bean.
It's one bean. So it's the lonely bean in the morning here until Porterhouse decides to show up.
Soup bean in the morning.
The best part about that is you don't have to worry about being too full of gas because it's just one bean.
I just came up with the imaging of that. I mean, it's soup bean in the morning.
Yeah. So
what a gassy way to start your day.
He's full of hot air anyway. Yeah. So
exactly. I mean, you are gassy. You have a gassy personality, and I don't mean that in a negative way.
I'm just gonna nod.
I like the way you nod.
The silence is nodding, folks. The silence is nodding, folks.
Like yesterday.
Well, I think when I think of Porterhouse, I think of steak. Obviously steak. And if I'm gonna have steak, I want a nice baked potato.
Tater. That's not bad.
So, big tater.
So you got big tater. Would be a good idea here.
Big tater.
Tater pounder, if you want to make it a little bit more local.
Ooh, tater pounder.
So if you're listening, Nathan Kitts, that's a free plug for you there at Rowdy's. Oh dear, the big guys opened up the door. So we've done it again. Big guys here. Might as well join the party. Come on in. So
yeah. Big guys in the house. I'm a little worried about the gas in the studio and all the food.
Now listen, I didn't say anything about gas. That was Porterhouse. And
so here's a funny story. Do you remember how Porterhouse got?
Oh yeah.
Years ago, because it was just basically the lovely Rhonda and I when we started out.
Right.
So Porterhouse comes on board. So we're trying to figure out a cool name for Porterhouse. Well, just so you know, Porterhouse came from one of the characters of Caddyshack.
Right.
If you watch that movie in the clubhouse, that's where that name came from. So I like Porterhouse, but my father liked pork chop. So
and here's the thing. Here's the dilemma of the whole thing is I didn't like either one of them. And I mean, I walk in the studio one morning and
so wait, are you implying that maybe you would have liked to have just gone by Rodney?
Well, at the time now,
like I go by Matt.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid you should go with your God-given name.
Well, here's how this all. Okay, so anyway, I walk in the studio and he goes, Porterhouse, and I'm like, what? And he goes, that's what your new name is. I'm gonna start calling you Porterhouse from here on out. And I said, no, you're not. Yeah, I am. Well, then we go to breakfast with his dad, and we're sitting at the old diner down there on Broadway Street, which, man, I miss that place really bad.
Imagine that. Anything to do with food.
Yeah. Best memories come with food. But his dad called me pork chop. and JJ, all of a sudden, dude, he lit up yeah, that's it. That's what we're going to call him. I'm changing it to pork chop. And I said, no, you're not. I'm not going to be. Yeah, you're pork chop. I said, no, I'm not. So we argued about that. And I said, if I'm going to be anything, I'm going to be Porterhouse.
No. Well, yeah. Go ahead. Continue.
And then, so anyway, he didn't want Porterhouse.
I didn't want clean this up later.
I didn't want pork chop. Long story short, we left it to the listeners. It was election day coming up. We put a voting booth out. We had zip printing, make up ballots. And by a landslide, Porterhouse won. And at the same time, we secured, like 20,000 cans of food?
Yes. So that's kind of where I'm going with this. So I think the listeners should send their nominations on what, maybe they think like a cool nickname for Matt would be.
Oh.
And we do have a primary coming up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So, maybe we got plenty of room for a voting box out there.
Yeah.
We might be able to replicate something cool here.
I think so.
If it makes a difference in the community, I'll go with this.
All right.
Like I told you, I've gone by either Matt Farley or just Farley in the past because of my impeccable Chris Farley impressions.
Is it the impression we're talking about?
Okay, that might be something we need to see. Amy's got the video.
But hey, I'll video put it up, so it's probably out there somewhere. But you're talking about living in a van down by the river and all that kind of stuff. So
I'd love to see that.
So of course we could always refer to the big guy as John.
Hey, actually, a few people still do.
Still do.
Well, he slipped up in the sales room the other day. John, J, big guy.
Well, so we'll have more on that in the coming days. We'll say.
Yeah, let's get the.
Yeah, let's.
So if we can find a way, if we can make a difference in the community, so it could be.
What-
so far
where
we've got
can we make a difference
we've got
at? What do we need
pounder,
to do?
tater.
We'll come up with the
We'll
good.
come up with yes.
Yeah.
so.
Who needs it most?
Yeah, hater.
I just have to say what I took from that whole story is you got Porterhouse. Matt's either going to be tater or soup bean or beans.
Or whatever else I'm gonna come up with. So.
JJ and Rhonda. JJ gets big guy, and Rhonda gets lovely Rhonda, and I'm cornbread. I mean, what the heck?
We should remind you that JJ is the
come
one that
on.
JJ is the one that named you. So
Remember, you're the one that made the mistake of telling us. Was it the 4th of July or when we
it
did
was
the New
Nuthead
Year's Eve
reunion.
show?
It was the 4th of July.
Yeah,
Nuthead
you
reunion
made the
show.
mistake of telling me you're from West Virginia.
Yeah.
I think
So.
Amanda Crabtree made that mistake, and I have to say, I did not eat cornbread till I moved to Ohio. And
You love it, don't you?
yeah, I do love it. Some nice sweet cornbread.
We're getting all
but
kinds
my-
of comments from the peanut gallery too, by the way.
My
so,
father wanted to actually name me in real life Sweet Peaches, so I mean,
Justin,
can have
by
a
the way,
vote there.
by the way, the
Now
legendary.
you guys are cornbread. Yeah.
Now we've got an official primary.
By the way, the legendary engineer Justin himself is like, what the hell? I got Justin. So,
He's the world's most dangerous engineer.
That's it.
Now, from an insurance standpoint, I don't think the real big guy around here likes that too much.
yeah, I was gonna say, yes. But anyway, so we'll talk about it. We'll come up with something, and we'll have some fun with this over the next couple of days. But we probably should pay some bills.
Yeah, that would be
Hey,
nice.
real
So-
quick before you
Yes,
guys
sir.
do that, I just wanted to give a shout out to one of our longtime listeners and good friends, and a listener of yours, Missy Janie Brenner.
Yeah.
She sent a really cool message last night. She actually listened to you guys all the way to Washington Courthouse, Ohio, yesterday.
That's
and she
awesome.
said loud and clear.
Good
We're
deal.
booming
Good deal.
into to Fayette County.
She said the
so.
signal was good, not the show, but that's a
Yes,
start.
appreciate that. So, hey, I will only say one last thing on this topic right now. I have a friend that every time, to this day, he's still and he didn't hear the whole getting you name thing. He has always said, whatever happened to that guy Pork Chop that used to be on the air? So, he never could remember Porterhouse, and so he always called you Pork Chop. So lots more coming up. It's 8:46 on Mix 96 FM. Do you remember a caring parent?